Hey there, friends. Valentine's Day is upon us, and I'm excited to be here today to show you these really sweet and simple Valentines using brand new products from LA Studio. I am using the January 2022 printables, right? Printables are awesome because you can use them over and over again and keep them in your digital library. You can use them in so many different ways, and I'm starting out with this rainbow printable tag here to use as the base for my little 3x4 Valentines. Now these are awesome because you can slip them in a little tiny envelope and they just look very cute, so much cuter than store-bought, and they really don't take much time at all. So I've cut apart all of my printables. I've printed the same one over and over to have 6 on a page. And then I'm going to kind of size up the My Heart metal dies on the front here to make sure that I am cutting the right size heart that I want. I'm using some specialty gold foil paper here, and I am cutting out squares here at 2 3/4 by about 2 3/4, 2.5 by 2.5, something like that, a little square. If you turn that heart die on its side, you can get more use out of your paper that way. So what I'm doing here is I am cutting all of those squares all at once so I have them ready to go. Pretty much I'm doing this like I'm in a factory. Like everything is being done all at once, and then I'm moving on to the next element, right? So here I'm cutting out little white squares for my smaller white die cut that I'm putting on top of the gold foil die cut. And I'm using the My Heart metal dies for both of those. These are some of my most used and favorite metal dies. I use the My Star as well. These are just the best. They really are the best. So I am taking my die cut, putting them on together at the same time. I'm using the We Are Memory Keepers Revolution tool to die cut those just off of the camera. My die cutting machine sits on a top of a cart, a rolling cart that I have. I had a top made for that, and so it's just off of my camera. So I am die cutting each of those together and then putting them on top of each other so they are ready to get adhered. Okay, does anybody else just love Zots from ThermoWeb? These guys are so awesome, and they stick those little white cardstock hearts onto the foil hearts just beautifully here. I am adding just one of the medium Zots to each of those hearts, and then they are all adhered together. Next, it's time for our sentiments, and I am using the Sincere Sentiments Wonderful You stamp here. And what I'm going to do is piece together a couple of different sentiments here to make some really fun designs. I am sizing them on a new product that we have coming out February 10th in the February release. And these are the heart label stamps. So they coordinate with the previous label stamps and dies, but they just have hearts on them. So they're really super cute. So I'm deciding which size I want to go with. I'm going to use the same size label for all of my sentiments. So I wanted to make sure that each of the sentiments that I've chosen is going to fit in there. And I'm going ahead and stamping out 6 of those and stamping those with Versamark ink and using gold embossing powder. Now I'm looking for a brush right now to brush off that little bit of embossing powder down there on the bottom. All I could find was a water brush, so I just went ahead and used that. And then I did 3 at a time just so that I could make sure that my ink was wet enough to set my powder. I just love gold shiny things with rainbows. They just go together so perfectly. So now I am going to heat set these labels. I've chosen 3 different sentiments to use on these cards. You are special, And you can see there that I, went ahead and just inked up the U and the R on that sentiment and only the word special there because the sentiment says you are something special. And then I'm doing the same thing on another one. So I've chosen three different sentiments and I am doubling those up. My next sentiment is you brighten my day. And because brighten my day is quite long and I want it to fit on this label, I am selectively inking up that sentiment there so that it fits on two lines. My last sentiment is you shine bright, which is really special and appropriate for these cute little rainbow Valentines. Next, I'm going to use the coordinating labels metal dies to cut out each of those labels. So all of the elements that are going on my little Valentines are already together, and the last thing I need to do is just put them together with some adhesive. And I am keeping these pretty flat because they are going to go in little envelopes. I'm using the puffy rainbow stickers to go on top of my cute little heart bunch there. So I have a gold foil heart, I have a white stitched heart. I'm putting my sentiment label just tucked underneath the bottom of that heart grouping there. And then I'm adding a little puffy rainbow sticker. Isn't that the cutest? I mean, they just go so well with the printable from the January 2022 printables. So I just love it. And each one is different. Each one has a different puffy heart sticker. Each one has a different saying on it, a different sentiment, and they're just really special. So these are going to go to my daughter's, either her teachers or her best friends, so that we can, you know, give them something special. But teachers would be equally awesome because they need that reminder too, just like children do, that they are special, that they, you know, change someone's day, they brighten our days. So these are just so super cute. I also want to show you how I'm creating little envelopes to fit these 3x4 Valentines. So I have my We Are Memory Keepers 1, 2, 3 punch board. I have the Cool Solids cardstock and the Warm Solids cardstock. I am cutting each one of my cardstocks to 6 inches squared, and I am using 2 5/8 and 3 3/8 alternatively to create this rectangular envelope. So you start by scoring at 2 5/8, then punching, then rotate and do 3 3/8, score and punch. Then go back to 2 5/8, score and punch, and then 3 3/8, score and punch, so that you're creating a rectangular envelope instead of a square envelope. I will also have these dimensions in the video notes just so that you can refer to those. Once I have all 6 of my colorful envelopes cut, I'm just going to use a bone folder to get those score lines nice and tight. I'm going to make a little mark here to cut a opening, like just a straight opening on my envelope so that I can tuck that side flap in so that it doesn't stick out. Because it's a rectangular envelope, that bottom flap is not going to cover up your middle flaps, so it just looks neater this way when you fold that side flap in. I could not be more excited about how these turned out. And it all started with a printable, which you can print over and over again. And I just used simple products from my stash and the new LA Studio February release with those labels to create some really fun Valentines, plus those cute matching envelopes in rainbow colors too. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I hope it's given you some ideas for how to create something special for someone you guys love this Valentine's Day. Happy creating!